So welcome back to the Fantasy Tippler, where I'm pretty much the world's worst fantasy football player. Let's get into it. If I sound a little stuffed up, because I am, allergies have finally got to me, and I hate it. I'm drinking lots of water and taking decongestants, and I don't know what to do, but it's cleaning on. Haven't had something this bad in a while. So let's get into Week 8. Here's the thing about Week 8, and I probably should have mentioned this last week, but the waiver wires are about to dry up like the Sahara Desert. So if you have any form of, you're in the running for the playoff, or you still, like myself, want to fight to the bitter end, you need to make your plans now. Because where you need to take a shot on someone, like a rookie who hasn't popped yet, but is getting ready to. Like Rashad Bateman is somebody I tried to go after. Unfortunately, I played in a lot of competitive leagues and wasn't able to get him. And then you also need to get rid of bad weight. You need to get rid of worthless assets. Just dump them. For example, Allen Robinson. There's only one league. I had him in 3 leagues. I got rid of him in 2. And there's only one league where I'm just kind of holding on to him, almost as an experiment at this point. And the only reason is there's really nobody else out there that I want. Now, Cole Beasley was on the waiver wire, but I wasn't able to get him. But I punched in Allen Robinson to drop for him. So at this point, I'm holding him. But like I said, Week 7 is actually when it started. Week 8 is when it happened. The waiver wire will dry up. The only fab you need to keep, it's about 10 to 15 just for defenses as you go into the playoff, unless something big comes up. But if you're completely out of fab, it's fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. So, all right, lead updates. I had a weird week. It was Bipocalypse. That helped me and hurt me. Mostly helped, but we'll go through it real quick. So, starting with Yahoo. The board meeting lead, I got whopped by the number 1 guy. I got whomped by him. And it just, most of my players put up an average points. Henderson was the one that killed me, made it non-competitive. But he got 162 points. He had Mike Evans and Matthew Stafford. And, Henderson only had 10 points. So that kind of just made it look even worse. So, lost that one. I lost all my Yahoo games, but we'll get to that in a minute. CBS lead, kind of the same thing. Just didn't perform very well. Had a lot of my star players on bye and just didn't do anything. SMU lead, that's my own fault. I plugged in A.J. Dillon, which got negative 2 points. And I plugged in Sam Darnold with 3 points. That was embarrassing. I'm a co-manager in that league. And he relies on me because I do this all year long. And I put up that kind of performance. And the guy that we lost to had serious bye week problem. Well, all I had to do was get a quarterback that put up 17 points, and I would have won. Instead, I lost 91 to 110. Ridiculous. I hate bye weeks. I hate them so much. So, there's that. And then ESPN, I did very well. So the reason why I did very well in ESPN, because it's one of my preseason strategies, working out very nice for me now. I had Stafford and Cup, and I'm running the town. I'm on my way up, and I'm not going to stop till I'm all the way up. So I've made some corrections to the running back issues that I had in those leagues. And then there's just, the only time I'm not to worry is coming up in week 11, but I've already got backup plans. So, because like you said, waiver wire is about to turn into a desert. I'm already planning ahead. Sleeper, this is sad. All right, so in my dynasty league, I won. That is only because, and I put up terrible points. I've only put up 110 points. But the guy that I played is in a rebuild. So if you don't know a lot about dynasty, when most people are in a rebuild, they're just stocking up on very young players that hadn't popped yet, and draft pick. So they don't normally even field a full team. They plug in somebody. But like the starting quarterback was the backup quarterback for the Colts. That's who you had to play because that's who's on the team. Because you even got rid of Drew Lock on the team for like a third round pick, which I thought was a deal for him. But so that is what it is. I've got an okay team. I've got quarterback problems in that dynasty league. I'm right in the middle of the pack. I'm just trying to creep into the playoff. Remember, fight to the end. The Megalo Bowl tournament, hosted by the Fantasy Footballers, one of my favorite fantasy podcasters out there. I lost, and it wasn't good. And it was because of Sam Darnold and the fucking Raven. -7 points. I've never had that many points lost by a defense. I've never picked a defense that bad ever. That was kind of a last minute ad. I deeply regret it. And at this point now, I'm 2-5 in that league. But it's just my own fault for the way I drafted. That's a very competitive league. So remember, if you don't know about the Megalo Bowl, you have to be in like the top 3 or 2 by week 11 before week 12. And at this point, I remember I told you, like, I have to win every single game in order to make that happen. The distance between me and third place, it was going to take a miracle. So even if I won every single game and I got like a 6-5 finish, that still put me in the middle of the pack. Now, for a normal playoff, that would be totally worth it. But not for this one. And I mean, I'm going to fight in case something weird happens where the second and third and fourth places go on tilt and I manage to get up there because I have a good team. I just start the wrong player. It happens, man. That's why, like, I mean, I plan on buying myself something real special if there was ever a year where I won multiple fantasy leagues at the same time. It's never happened to any of my friends, but most of them are in more than 2. I think one guy years ago won his work league and our league in the same year, and we couldn't understand why. And he just got lucky with he auto-drafted one of those leagues. It's bizarre. So we hate him with the passion. So, let's get into some news. Mark Ingram coming back home to New Orleans, baby. I love it. And I know why. They basically need to replace Latavius Murray. Got him at a price. He's happy. Houston has to be, like Brandon Cook sent a text on Twitter that said, what the hell? I don't know what's going on. He can't be happy, man. But didn't you hear the news from the Houston Chronicle about Deshaun Watson, Miami trade, like getting very, very close? And then the timing of this makes sense. The trade deadline's around the corner. New Orleans gotten something for nothing. Houston probably created some room in the cap for them in preparation. I think so the Houston Chronicle has been a little bit closer to the situation than most ESPN sources or fantasy football sources. And what they're hearing is it's all but said and done. Miami just wants more clarity of the legal issue before they pull, the final trigger. And that makes sense, but I don't think even the lawyers on this case can clarify what's happening. So we'll see. The implications on that is a lot of people are running to grab Deshaun Watson on either in Dynasty, which makes sense because that's a long game. But like on the redraft waiver wire, I'm like, don't do that, because if it does happen, you don't know what it's going to be like when he gets there. He hasn't been practicing. He's got all this drama. I don't really trust him as a player. Like, I'd rather go out and grab Kirk Cousins, who's one of my Drunken DFS starts this week. So, I would have to avoid that situation, kind of like I would with the San Francisco running back. Just it's not worth it, man. So, what else? People are starting to panic when it comes to playoff. I've seen it in one of my leagues. I already had a talk with the guy. Not setting his lineup, which is a big no-no. If you are middle of the pack or bottom of the pack, you should always, always, always fight to the end. That way, you get to practice, you remember what you did, what player did well for you towards the end of the year that helps you draft the next year. And don't be that guy that gives up, because it ruins it for everybody else and gives somebody else an easy out. So, so this is going to be the last segment for bottom of the barrel waiver wire picks. Because after this week, it's going to be, I may mention a couple of names, but there'd be more of the player updates. So, bottom of the barrel. I need to do a sound effect there, don't I? So, bottom of the barrel picks this week are, obviously because Mark Ingram's gone, David Johnson, and more, possibly Philip Lindsay. If you are very, very desperate for some depth, like a running back 4 in your lead, I'm sure he's out there. Both of them are. So if you really need something, you don't know what the production's going to be like now because it's not a 3-headed monster anymore, go ahead and gobble them up. Randall Cobbs, great start if you can get him before the Thursday night game tonight. Him and Robert Tunyon are tied in. Everybody else is sick. Aaron Rodgers always performs in prime time. I mean, how desperate are you? Might as well throw them on. Those won't be... Robert Tunyon you could hold on to as like a backup tight end going into the playoff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how he performs tonight when he gets all the opportunities. And then Kenneth Gainwell was somebody I dropped because of the Bipocalypse. That I had to create room to get a kicker in because I didn't want to get rid of my kicker like a moron. And I've lost him. And now Miles Sanders is questionable, not out, but was pretty much going to be the Kenneth Gainwell show from now on. All right, let's get into Drunken DFS. So, this week at quarterback, I love the Dallas Cowboy matchup. Now, I know you got Diggs, the ultimate interceptor on that team. However, one interception is not going to tank a quarterback ranking. So I like Kirk Cousins versus Dallas. Your 2 running back for the value. Cordell Patterson, I'm going to keep starting him until he fails me. And then I know Henderson let a lot of people down. I just like the matchup this week. And I think they're going to run the ball more. So Cordell Patterson, Henderson. Then wide receiver, I'm getting Deebo Samuel. I've created enough value to my running back. I'm going to get some premium wide receiver. The thing about Deebo Samuel, if you go with this one, he popped up on the injury list. Be careful. I think he plays, but should be mindful of it. Check it in the morning, on Sunday morning. Mike Williams, this is a risk. They're playing the Patriots. The Patriots are known to either shut down one receiver. Like they'll take their main receiver and shut it down and force the quarterback to make other mistakes with their wide receiver 2 or 3. However, Justin Herbert has Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. If they decided to shut down Keenan Allen, Mike Williams could explode like Mike Williams always had. However, there is a concern that because Mike Williams has been getting all the love, they're going to try to shut him down and leave Keenan Allen open. But one of those two is going to be it. But I'm taking my shot on Mike Williams. Number 3 is my bargain basement. It's KJ Osborne, and I'm just pairing him with Kirk Cousins to stock it against the Dallas defense. Tight end, Zach Ertz. I never thought I'd be back on the Zach Ertz page. I thought it was kind of funny. I didn't know that J.J. Watts and Zach Ertz play on the same soccer team together, professional soccer team. So I don't know. Maybe Arizona's the perfect fit for him. And he's obviously much more talented than Max Williams. So, and with all the weapons that they have, it's kind of opening up the middle. I mean, I'm a fan of Zach Ertz now. And it's really good when he got that trade because I have Dallas Goedert in my dynasty team. That traded for cheap, and now he's going to, hopefully he looks good. And then my defense, my flex first. We've got some really good values this time, so we have room to get DJ Swift on your flex. And then for your defense, I paid up a little bit. I'm getting Denver, which I think will put up a solid 8 to 10 points, with hopefully a couple of interceptions. Now, if you want to vary them a little bit, like I've tried doing the Yahoo DraftKings FanDuel thing, but they vary so much that I don't want to take up too much time. Then we'll give you a couple of variant points. Across the board, for running back, Cordell Patterson and Darrell Henderson are the value. So this is another lineup that I switched out in another league. And I got Josh Allen for quarterback, and then the two running backs we just talked about. And then I went with Cooper Kupp. I got the massive upside. He's so expensive. And then kept Deebo Samuel and swapped out KJ Osborne for Marvin Jones, which I really like. And then I put Higgins in the flex, which is a risk, but his price is really good. I sold up for Tampa Bay defense, and I put Ricky Sealy-Jones at tight end. So just a little bit of variance, but I didn't really change up the running back because I just felt like I wanted to go high on receiver and quarterback in one and do a more balanced one in the first one. So that's it for today. I know I went fast, but I've got a lot of stuff to do and got more work to do. So please leave a comment, give a suggestion. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, please post a comment, ask a question. I would love to see some more audience interaction, and I'll see you guys later.
Follow the show on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on Instagram at the Fantasy Tippler and Twitter at Fantasy Tippler.